Hi, this is 365801 and this is going to be a 24-hour reading vlog. I say it's going to be 24 hours, but I don't know how long it's actually going to take. But it's a NetGalley reading vlog, so I've got a bit of Kodansha to read, and I've got, I think, one other, one other book, which is a graphic novel, but it's not a Kodansha title. So it's mostly Kodansha titles. It's been a while since I did one of these, and I actually managed to get, this is like just a Kindle rather than my iPad, so I've managed to put them on my Kindle, which is good. It's a little bit easier to cart around. And I think I've got 5 Kodansha titles, 1 graphic novel, and if I just put this, I actually got this from the library. I have The House in the Cerulean Sea as well, and these are all titles that I need to read for NetGalley. I probably won't be reading this in this vlog. Just the graphic novel and mangas. I have, this is my list of, like, my book thing. I have some lovely flowers as well. I have a list of things to do today. I want to start doing like a 5 list, so I only put 5 things on my to-do list, and try and get it done. And then intersperse. So if I get something done, then I read a book. So I have my 5 things that I need to do, and then after I do one of them, I can read. It is already about 10 or 10:30 today. It started off gorgeous sunny weather, and now it's a bit grey, overcast and raining, which is a bit of a shame. But I still might go out and take you on a walk with me, because I need to go to the shops anyway, because I've got like not very much in the house. I don't even know if I could make anything up with what I've got in my house. Maybe, probably not. We'll see. I need some like veg or salad or something. But yeah, so first things on my list is to clean my bathroom. So I'm gonna go clean my bathroom, and then we can get on to some reading. So, Kayla's just uploaded rereading my questionable favourites, so I might give that a wee watch some point in time today. But I do have my cup of tea, and I'm going to start with my first manga, Penguin and House, which just looks cute, because I've cleaned my bathroom. That's one thing checked off, so I'm going to reward myself with a quick read. Just thought I'd show. Got some flowers for my birthday. I'm not really a huge fan of carnations, but these ones are nice because they're very spring-like. And so many of them are buds, which means that they're going to last for a long time. And I know some people really don't like carnations in baby's breath, but I really like it. It's nice. And I've got it in my big round bowl, which is just, it's a fun bowl. It's a fun bowl. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a wee read with my cup of tea in my new mug, which I am absolutely loving. It's so gorgeous. It's kind of nice. So yeah, I'll let you know what I think. So I've just finished reading Penguin and House Volume 1 by Akiho Ieda, and it is weird AF, but it's also kind of funny and cute. The penguin, when you get introduced to the penguin, you're like, this is weird, but the penguin does everything. The penguin is awesome. Penchan is cool. And the owner, who is kind of also pretty capable and yet is lazy around Penchan. Penchan does everything for the owner. And then you get introduced to the owner's friends and all of the weird activities that Penchan gets up to. He's kind of like his housekeeper, and I don't know, it's a weird one. It kind of reminds me a little bit like the tanuki in Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun. The penguin and the tanuki also get up to all kinds of different interesting things. The penguin's the same. It's a bit like actually Yanko Sensei from Natsume Yujincho, because Yanko Sensei is also pretty ugly in some respects, but also super cute. And Penchan's kind of like that too. They're very short little chapters. Some of them even include recipes for things because he likes to cook and clean, and it's just generally a bit of nonsense. Very short chapters, lots of them, about their daily life, and Penchan just doing stuff. And he's kind of an odd little penguin. He doesn't speak at all, so it's really easy to read. It's just the other characters that have things to say. But yeah, this was an interesting one to start with. This is probably the one I was most interested in. But it does get a bit repetitive as well, so I wouldn't have said this was particularly groundbreaking in any way, but it was fun to read. I don't know what I'm going to read next, but I will do something else on my list. I'll see what my list says, and then we'll see what I want to read next. Now, one of the things on my list was to go to the shops, but the weather has turned for the worse. So it's very rainy, so I've decided to just use the ingredients I have in the house, and I'm going to make lentil soup and have that for my lunch. And while that's cooking, I'm going to read the next volume that I've got, which is A Galaxy Next Door by Guido Amagakure. That was a bit tricky for me. I have no idea what this is about, but that's a really cute drawing. So we'll see what this one is all about. So my lentil soup turned out quite nice. I'm having it with some toasted cheese, which I did in the pan, which I think actually turns out quite nice. It's like the American way, rather than using a toasty machine. And how far am I? I'm just starting this one. Something to do with the princess. I'm not sure. Not sure about it so far. There's a boy who is like a mangaka, and he has to look after his sisters, because his dad has passed away, and he needs an assistant to meet his deadline, and this lady turns up, who's obviously very pretty. So we'll see how this one goes, and have something nice to eat. So something happened. How did that happen? It's 7 in the evening. The thing is, because the weather is so grey and has been so grey all day, it looks exactly the same time as the last time I filmed. So no shade to this manga, although to be fair, I'm not getting into it. After I ate, I thought I would give this a wee read and continue, and my body just shut down completely, and I felt really cold and super tired, so I thought I'll just crawl up in bed and read this for a wee bit, where I'm nice and warm, and boom, asleep, passed out completely. And it's now 7 in the evening. What happened? So turns out my body had a reaction to the food that I ate, which is no huge surprise because there were several things in the meal that are, food intolerances. So the cheese from the cheese sandwich, the cheese toasty, I'm dairy intolerant, and the onion and the lentil in the onion soup, the lentil soup. I'm. Those are also food intolerances that I'm supposed to avoid. But it's been like 3 years and I've tried to wean it out of my diet and I've tried to wean it back in to see how much. But I think maybe the combination of bread as well as cheese and onion and lentil together my body just said no. So I'm really weak, and I'm slightly hazy feeling. And I should have known better. But I'll just chalk this up to another learning experience of did not work. So wow. I feel really, really bad. But I feel bad because I haven't finished this yet. It's weird. It's a bit weird. It's like a supernatural thing. She's like some sort of star princess. She's got a stinger in the back. But she's like a mangaka assistant. But she's only been reading and drawing manga for a year. Because she lives on an island with the rest of the weird star people. And he has a little sister and a little brother and a cousin, and they all live in some sort of shared house where they can rent out rooms. So he's like a landlord, but he's still a young guy as well. He's only in like early 20s. He wanted to be a shonen mangaka, but he's ended up being a shoujo mangaka, and she's actually a fan of his shoujo manga, which is, I don't know. Anyway, he touched the stinger on her back, which in her culture means that she is now engaged to him. Got shades of Kyo Karamao in there, you know, when he slapped Wolfram? Is that his name? So, anyway, it is 7:15 in the evening. What the hell? I'm gonna go check my list. See if I can finish some of the things that I had on my list today. I ain't going anywhere. The weather's still really bad. It's still grey and gross. So this may be a 24-hour until like midday tomorrow, because it was around, I don't know, 11 or something when I started. So yeah, maybe a full 24-hour is needed to get this done. But how am I going to sleep tonight? I'm going to be up for hours. Oh no. I screwed up my totally screwed up my sleeping schedule. Oh dear. And I got up so early and was so energetic today. Man, I just given my body a good kicking, haven't I? Thing is, I'm a little bit peckish now, and I've got soup. And I really want to eat it. Maybe that may make me pass out. Damn it. Anyway, I'll continue reading this. I'll check in with you in a bit. So it's kind of late now. It did take me a while to do this. I got waylaid by other things like answering emails and things, but I finally got this finished. It's an odd one, I've got to say. It's basically a romantic comedy type thing, but it's got an element of supernatural, which I'm not entirely sure was absolutely necessary. Because it doesn't really hold too much of a point in the story, except, so she has like a stinger. This is so weird. She's got a stinger in her back, and so he accidentally touched it, and so they are technically engaged, according to her culture. And yeah, because of that, there's retribution. So if he goes too far away from her, then he starts to get ill. Or if her emotions affect his health, that kind of thing. So she has to be kept in a good mood, kind of thing. But they've tested it. They've tested how far she can travel. Anyway, they're kind of just developing feelings for each other. And she's just learning more about making manga. And he's just trying to be responsible by, you know, working hard and looking after his siblings. And yeah, it's kind of a slice of life with an element of supernatural. Kind of, I think, what did they say? Like an asteroid fell to Earth and there was some sort of organism that was part of, kind of went inside the bodies of the children, and she's like a third generation of this. I don't know. It's a weird thing anyway. But A Galaxy Next Door, Gido Amagakure, is cute enough. It's sweet. It's interesting. I don't think it necessarily needed that sort of supernatural element. It could have just been what it was without the supernatural. But it's nice enough. The kid, Fumio is the young boy. So he's got two siblings, a younger sister and a younger brother, who are very young. And his dad, obviously, there must have been some sort of issue with the parents and they split up, and the mum is now somewhere else with a new family and doesn't want to have anything to do with them. And the dad died and he has to look after them. Fumio is the wee boy, and he says nothing throughout the whole of this manga, but he is the cutest thing in this. So yeah, I like this. It was nice, but it's not necessarily one that I don't know who I would recommend it to. But it's cute, it's sweet, it's fun, it's interesting. The art is nice, and the story is plodding along gently. And it's definitely a romantic comedy, so obviously the two main characters are eventually going to get together. And even by the end of this volume, there's definitely inroads in their romance. So, yeah, it's basically, I think, the author just thought, what are all the things I like? And I'm going to be totally self-indulgent and draw them. And that's what they came up with. So yeah. I don't know what one to do next. If I go back to home, let's see. This one? When a Cat Faces West by Yuki Urushibara. So yeah, I'll do this one next. Because it is quite late and I'm probably just going to put on my pyjamas and go to bed. Even though I've slept for most of today. Oh, I feel so... What a waste of a day. I will resume normal schedule tomorrow morning, bright and early hopefully. The weather's supposed to be nicer tomorrow than it was today, so we'll see if I can actually get out and about and finish off my list of 5 things I need to do, because I have not done those other 5 things. But yeah, we'll see if I can get this finished before I go to sleep. I have no idea what this is about, but I like the art style and I feel like I recognise it. Have I read this person's work before? It looks familiar. So yeah, I'll check in with you in a bit. So that's my new lights up the top, and it's quite nice. I put some books up there. It's quite good. I've put some extra blankets on my bed because it's a wee bit chilly as well. I was looking at this When a Cat Faces West, and I got, I think to, like I was looking at this going, huh. And then I got to literally, I think it was this page, and I was like, whoa, the artwork looks so familiar to something. And then I got to this page, literally this page, and went, oh, Mushishi. And then I had to search on the web just to be sure, just to make sure. And yes, it is the same mangaka as Mushishi. I was like, oh, why does this look so familiar? And it was this, like, this profile image. I was like, that's that's Mushishi, that's Mushishi. So it's kind of interesting that I kind of recognize the name, but not enough. Because I've never read the manga. I can't get hold of a copy. So I've obviously picked it up, and even when I was in Japan, they released a sort of special edition version of it, and then a sort of like special bound edition as well, and they had extra stuff. So there was a big hoo-ha when I was in Japan. Maybe it wasn't when I lived there, maybe it was when I went back there on holiday. They had some Mushishi stuff in the shops, and yeah, I've never actually read it in English. So this is actually going to be my first manga by this author, this mangaka, who I love. I absolutely love their story. So this is going to be something different. So I'm really excited about this now. All of a sudden I'm like, yay! I've got myself a cup of tea and a wee bar of chocolate. And hopefully gonna get a bit of this done then. Maybe I'll finish this before I go to sleep. Because it's about 9:30 at night now. What a day, what a day. That soup is going in the eat before bed. If it shuts my body down and allows me to literally just pass out and fall asleep, great, because sometimes I have insomnia. So that would be good. Make sure I have like a cheese sandwich. I mean, they do say, you know, you get weird dreams if you have cheese before bed, but maybe I should just make sure I eat things like that before bed so that I have that kind of reaction rather than in the middle of the day. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna give this one a reread. So far, it's interesting. The cat's called Chacho, and I 100% agree. That's a good name for a cat, Chacho. So yeah, cup of tea, some chocolate, and a bit of manga. So I just finished the first chapter. I've got my tea here, my new mug, and this is caramel and sea salt, no missing out. It's the vegan, dairy-free. Will it focus? Focus. There's too many things. It's got no dairy, no gluten, no eggs, no nuts. Says me, who just ate lots of things that I'm not supposed to eat. But I got this from my birthday. My sister sent me a whole stack of them, and I've eaten 2 of them already, and some are small bars like this. And she gave me 3 larger bars as well. Different ones. Nomo is just delicious. It's really good. I highly recommend it. This is a food and manga or food and book channel. This is what I do, people. This is what I do. We talk about food and we talk about books. So Nomo is a really good thing. I think you can get it in Tesco, but you can't get it in all of the supermarkets. But if you are trying to cut down on your dairy, this is a fantastic alternative. I think they do eggs, but I didn't get one this year. I kind of wish I did. I got a different one that was like dairy free, and it was okay. But Nomo is like lovely. My cup of tea is delicious as well. This manga I'm already loving. I think Simply G would really like this. I think Simply G would be like, yes, G, you would like this. Obviously it is like from the mangaka of Mushishi. They just did like loads of part of the podcast about a podcast all about books that were like are discontinued or hard to get. But yeah, it's already got like Mushishi in the 21st century or Mushishi in the 22nd century type feel to it. So it's all about flow, which is a little bit like the whole Mushi thing is kind of difficult to describe. Well, flow is a little bit difficult to describe as well. So I'll go back to how she described it at the beginning. So this girl, Chima? Where am I? Let's just do that. Back here. So Chima decides to come along to this place, and she's supposed to be getting an interview with this guy, but he's like, hey, just come along. So Chima-chan and Hirota, this guy's Hirota, and he is a flow disposal specialist. So he's like, hey, have you got any flow disposal experience? And she's like, no. And he's like, oh, you must have learned about it in science classes. So this is the exposition that you need to understand this story. She says, the fluctuation of space, I think. Basically, all the matter that exists in our world is constantly moving and swaying in minuscule amounts. Matter is always in flux, meaning it can occasionally fall out of balance and change form. And that phenomenon is called fluctuation or flow. And so basically in this, which seems to be like the kind of thing that I love, which is the world is exactly the same as we know it, except one fundamental difference, and that's the sci-fi aspect, or that's the fantasy aspect, which I love. I love it when there's just one thing that's different about the world, and that's what makes the story interesting. Whereas everything else about the world is completely the same. You know, people still have to get up and go to their jobs, people still have to go to school, people still have to do their dishes and wash their clothes and tidy their house. Everything else is the same, except one fundamental difference. And in this manga so far, it's that flow exists, and flow is the fluctuation of matter in a sense. And Hirota is the Gin kind of character. He is like, you know, a Mushishi character. He goes and sorts out the flow. He has to deal with the flow issues. So it's like Mushishi in the 22nd century, you know. It's like Mushishi in a modern setting, but with a sort of sci-fi element. And you know what? I'm here for it! I'm already loving this. I'm already 100%. G, get on this shit. This is your shit. I hope you pick this up. I 100% recommend this, specifically just for G. Obviously, it's from the mangaka Mushishi. I'm so excited to read the rest of this. Yeah. So far, this first chapter, very interesting. And in the same way, and I think it's going to be the same thing. I'm just like, I haven't read the rest of it. Just one chapter. I think it's going to be like the story, like you know, like a monster of the week story, like the problem of the week kind of story, per chapter. This one, they came to an intersection, and instead of it being like a 3-way intersection, it's now become a 7-way intersection. So they have to find the cause of this change, and Hirota says it's due to an emotional, it's a human response to someone's emotions. So the flow has reacted to a human response, and you're just like, yes, this is so Mushishi for the 22nd century. Like, weird shit's happening. It's the same. It's kind of 21st, maybe 21st century then. But anyway, I'm loving it. It's great, and the fact that it kind of got resolved in a sort of so Mushishi kind of way. You know, it's like, oh, it's an emotional response, so we'll just talk to the person who has this emotion and figure out. And then what he says is just so irresponsible. But the person's like, oh, okay, and everything's solved. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm so gonna enjoy this. This is so far, this is better than the penguin shit. Better than the weird thing that I've managed. This so far is like my jam. I did not expect this to be. I mean, I like saw the artwork, and I knew it was like, this looks familiar, this feels familiar. Oh, this is like a warm hug. This is like a warm hug. I'm so gonna eat this shit up. I'll check in when I've read the whole thing, because you know I'm gonna drink my tea, I'm gonna have some chocolate, and I'm gonna like scarf this down. This my jam. It's very good jam. So I finished volume 1 of When a Cat Faces West by Yuki Urushibara. And I've also finished my chocolate. I didn't mean to, I was just gonna have one bit, but then it's delicious, so I've eaten it all. Oh my god, I fucking love this. I love it. I love it. This is by far peak. 100% the best thing that's going to be in this vlog. This is my jam. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Oh god, how to describe this so that I just get everyone to read it, because everyone has to read it. G is gonna love this. I might just send a message. G, you have to read this. You have to. It's great. You're gonna love it. It has shades of The Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window. You know how, like, when the first few volumes, when it was always like the mystery they had to be solved. Each chapter was a different mystery. It's a bit like that. It's definitely got, obviously, Mushishi vibes, massive Mushishi vibes, obviously, but also like Natsume Yujincho vibes. Oh, it's just everything that I love. Oh, it's just everything that I love. This, oh, so good, so good, so good. Oh, so perfect. This is my jam. This is 100% the kind of thing that I love. Everything seems normal except some slight seeming supernatural, strange element. Oh, peak wonderful. With the main character being the kind of person that seems lazy and apathetic at first, but actually has hidden depths and hidden emotional depths, as well as like skill or knowledge. And Chima's story is interesting too. She looks like a 12-year-old. She's not. That is interesting. The art style is, love it. It's that floaty, airy, everything's just kind of chill kind of vibe, but has that sort of warm hug. Everything's normal, and yet there's the supernatural element there, that weird things happening. So good. The flow is such an interesting thing. It definitely has that sort of like mushishi element to it, like or yokai element, like the unknown, things that are happening in the unknown. And all the little different chapters, and each chapter is their own little like little mini adventure, little mystery that needs to be solved. It's so good. It's so good. And oh my god, chapter 6. Chapter 6 was the best. Where's chapter 6? Am I on chapter 6? Chapter 6 is when we get a new character introduced. Here we go. When a Cat Faces West. Brilliant. So this is the start of chapter 6. The tale is godly belief. And here we have, did we also get religion and that added in? Yes, we did. Belief in religion and supernatural and folklore and all that kind of stuff that I just love. Yes, we did. And did we get a black cat to go along with the white cat, Chateau? And this Shizuka. So Shizuka is the priest who works at, what was it, Fudo Shrine? Yeah, Fudo Shrine. And you better believe that as soon as Shizuka entered the frame, I was like, oh, who is this? Who is this priest with long black hair? Am I gonna ship them? Yes! So, Shizuka's the priest of Fudo Shrine, and we got Hirota, and the tiniest amount of animosity, and I was like, shipping commenced! Instantly, in the same way that in Natsume Yujincho, there is that I can't remember the name of the character who also has long dark hair and ends up being, like, bit of a wrongin', and I was like, ooh, is this priest a wrongin'? And I love it. I love it. As soon as there's a dark haired character, a white haired character, a slight animosity, and I am all over that. And the thing is, they've got a white cat and a black cat too. What's the black cat's name? I just love this is the panel that I loved. This is the panel that got me. Kokumaru, for shame. The thing is, this is like, I was already 100% on board for this manga, and I need to pick up the rest, and I would absolutely love a physical volume, and I would collect the shit out of the physicals. But this chapter won me over heart and soul, because one, now I have a ship to ship 100%, but this lulled me into a false sense of understanding, and then did the bait and switch, but they did it like 2 or 3 times. I kept going, oh, so this is what's, no, oh, okay, that was funny, ha ha ha, and then I guess this is happening, boom, no, ooh, was so good. That was so good. Oh, I am 100% in love with this manga. This is really peak 100%, 10 out of 10. I love this. Guys, this is brilliant. Ugh, she's a genius. She's a genius. I love this mangaka. I really, really wish I had Mushishi in manga form. It's never gonna happen though, and I'm not spending £1,000 or $1,000 to get the set. But if I had $1,000, would I? No. But this is definitely something I would invest my time and money in. It's just that sort of, you know, the slice of life, people doing their jobs, you know, two people with a cat sorting shit out. That's a little bit strange, but overall in the normal world, oh, it's just my jam. I cannot rate this high enough. Kodansha, you're giving it to me. Thank you. 100%. Oh, this is the best. This is the best. I probably should go to bed now, but I'm totally hyped. I've got chocolate in my veins and a brilliant manga that I've just fallen in love with. Oh god, it's so good. It's so good. I want a physical copy. Love it. Love it. This has made me so happy. And I'm too awake now. Probably because I slept so much during the day. But, oh, this is the best. This is the best. I cannot rate this high enough. It's so good. I want the rest of this. I'm going to have to then do a wee Google search on like how many volumes are out and how many we're going to get. Kodansha, thank you. Thank you for this. This is the kind of thing I am here for. 100%. And you know I'm shipping it. I'm shipping the two of them. Oh, brilliant. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's the next day. And it's morning. Fairly early to be baking. But I'm going to make some muffins or cupcakes or something. I've got some frozen blueberries as well, so I might throw in some of them for some of them. I also have some golden syrup, but I'll put some golden syrup in as well. So we're going to get our bake on, and that's going to be something delicious for breakfast. Once I've got this, that'll be one job off the list, because I've got a new list of 5 things, and this is one of them. So I'm going to get this done, and hopefully this won't be a weapon. A weapon specifically designed for my body, like lentil soup is. But yeah, hopefully this one I can actually eat and be fine with. Job number 2 while my cupcakes are baking is to fold up and put away all my washing. It was still a wee bit damp yesterday because it was so cold. I think the day before it would have dried in no time at all. But also while I'm here, I can show. Ta-da! These are cloths. There's like material. I thought it was paper, but I ordered these posters. And they're looking pretty good on my walls. So yeah, my room's starting to come together, like a treatment room. So we shall see, we shall see. It's looking good, it's looking good. But yeah, I'll get rid of all my dish towels and things and fold this up. So they've just come out the oven, so they're still a little bit warm. These are the ones I put some blueberries in. Some of them rose really high and then kind of flipped back down again. And I've got a cup of tea. Rather than coffee today, I'm thinking best be kind to myself and gentle. The next one I've got to read is Windbreaker by Satoru Nii. This looks like some sort of school, oh, I've got a message. School uniform, I'm guessing, I don't know, either sports or fighting. But we're going to give Windbreaker a bit of a go while I have a wee try of these muffin / cupcake. I don't know, it's cake basically. So I've just finished reading Windbreaker by Satoru Nii, Volume 1. This is Haruka Sakura? Yeah, Sakura-san. So he is someone who wants to fight and be the strongest, and so he goes to a place where there is like the lowest rated school, there's people fighting, it's supposed to be famous for gangs and stuff. And he goes there thinking that he can, you know, fight his way to the top. Very traditional sort of school fighting manga style. But when he gets to the town, it turns out that the school has kind of turned over a new leaf in the last couple of years. They're all still fighters, they're all still strong, but instead of having gang fights, they all kind of came together as a school collectively and decided to protect the town. So all the townsfolk love all of the students because they go around, you know, helping them to make sure everything's okay. And if any punks from outside of town turn up, they fight them, and the town are like, yeah, get him. Which I kind of like and appreciate. Only Sakura-san here is like, hold on, this is not what I thought this was going to be. So he's joining the school as a first year, and he's finding out the lay of the land and what's up and what kind of hierarchy system there is and who are the strong fighters. He himself is quite a strong fighter due to the fact that he has different coloured hair and different coloured eyes, and that's been a cause for issues with him in the past. So he's making his mark on the town and making friends even if he doesn't want them. It's funny, it's comedy, there's like comedy elements, there's lots of fights and stuff as well. It's quite nicely drawn, I like the art style. So yeah, it's good. There's comedy bits too. I like the comedy chibi drawings just as much as the fighting scenes as well. I mean, it's very cute. I feel like the art style is similar to something I've seen before. So I'd have to find out. I don't know what Satoru Nii has done before, but it feels similar to something I've read before. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, fighting schools with the Gakuran and all that kind of stuff. Very reminiscent of things in the past. But I kind of like this. It's interesting so far. Yeah, it's good characters. You're introduced to other people as well. And he's basically a good boy. He's basically a good boy, but he doesn't want to be a good boy. So he's like, no, I'm a strong fighter. But actually, he's just kind of a sweetheart who hasn't been given a chance to make friends. But in this town, he fits right in, and he doesn't know what to do about that. So yeah, this first volume was very good, very fun, interesting, and it would be fun to see where it goes, especially because he's now met his classmates who all seem quite interesting as well. The character designs were really cool. My favourite character design, obviously, is this bad boy with the eye patch. Where can I find it? Very... Oh, I think I'm gonna have to... There he is again. He's got these earrings. That just is like, oh, hello. So yeah, he's got this weird character design. And he's wearing, you know, the Chinese shirt and earrings and an eye patch. But yeah, it's fun, it's interesting, there's comedy bits. Yeah, it's a good one so far, Windbreaker. So after this, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. If I go back to here, I've had a wee look at some of the other things. What have I not read yet? New, this one. Blackguard, Ayo Hanada. So that's the next one to read. But I looked at my list of things that I needed to do or wanted to do, and one of them was this chest of drawers. This is where I keep a lot of my manga. It's in this corner, but I don't want it in that corner anymore. I want it over there, in that space, that empty space. So that this table can go into that corner and I can have a bit more space on the floor, just to open up the room a wee bit more. So, so the next job for me is to empty the drawers, because it's heavy with the drawers full of manga, but it's heavy even without the drawers full of manga. So I need to empty it and move it and clean off that's like sticky tape on the bottom. But I need to move it and then like hoover and then move the table. The table won't be too difficult to move, but these IKEA chest of drawers, which I'm not sure if they even make anymore, because they're supposed to be affixed to your walls, otherwise they just fall. If you open all the drawers at the top when they're full of heavy things, it topples, which it's not supposed to. You know, designed wise, it shouldn't do that, but it does, and people have been injured and even killed. So I don't know if they actually make these anymore. They might have been discontinued due to too many lawsuits. So yeah, I need to empty all these drawers of all of my manga first, and then see if we can move it. That's what I need to do, and then we can move on to Blackguard. This is like, I think, the second to last thing I need to read. So, this is all of the books that were in this chest of drawers. So it's empty now. That doesn't mean it's not going to be heavy. It's probably still going to be quite heavy. So I'm going to give it a go and try and see if I can move it. So it's now in the corner. So I've got a big space here. And then my chest of drawers over there. I need to try and see if I can get some of that. That's like duct tape. I don't know. Oil? Maybe oil. Get rid of it. But yeah, so I need to now put all of those back in there now. Anyway. It does feel much brighter and lighter with this over here, just because I like having space, and decluttering is helping my mental health. So yeah, get this all tidied up, and then I can have some lunch and read another volume of manga. So I put everything back in. This drawer, I have put my Kodansha stuff in here, so that it's much easier for me to see, just because they don't actually, as far as I know, I need to do some more research, don't have too many specifically BL titles, and so it'll be easier for me to fill up my Hitorajime and fill in the gaps for my tendans and keep it all in here, and then it gives me more space for the Net comics that I need to complete, like His House and Intense, Sweet Blood. But a lot of these at the back, I have pretty much everything that I can get rid of. I still don't know. So yeah, so these are like fine. I can maybe squeeze in one more volume here for volume 7, and then finish off my Totally Captivated and see what else there is for Net comics. But it's nice to have a bit of extra space, because it means I can put things, random things in. And this is my yen press drawer, and I've decided to put like things I've read and things I haven't read as an organisation, which makes it much easier for me to choose what to read next. So yeah, it's done now. That's organised. Happy about that. So I can go on to read another volume and have some lunch, I think. I'm kind of tired and hot. I'll avoid the lentil soup. I'll just have a toast or something. Oh, I've just kind of snuggled up in my duvet for a wee bit while I read some of this. I'm on page 91 of Blackguard. There is, I'm gonna remember, Nanao Minami, he's the one with the dark hair, and Chris Miyagi, who's the one with the weird white hair bowl cut type thing going on. There's a black haired guy and a white haired guy, and I'm shipping. That's what I'm doing. This is weird. I don't know, it's sort of sci-fi dystopian future from, what is it, 2071. There are weird things called shoujo, which they, with the elongated O, like the Osaka O, shoujo. And they're kind of like monkey, hairy white monkey things. And they're kind of like zombies. So if you get bitten by them, then you become one. And they apparently kind of came about 40 years ago. So that would have been like 2030. So hey, you know, we've got seven years before that catastrophe happens. 7, 8 maybe. So good luck to us. So yeah, they're in this weird dystopian Tokyo, which is always great. It's great. It's always, I mean, it's a setting for so many things. It does make me think a little bit about Clamp and like everyone's. It's been done before, but Clamp's Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, when they're actually back in Tokyo and it's the new Tokyo and it's all like sandy and there's those big worm things that are very Dune / Tremors, depending on your 70s 80s reference. Anyway, this is a bit of a weird thing. So there's like white fog, there's these shoujo creatures that if you get bitten by them you turn into them, and then these guys here are like special units. This guy, he's his own unit, but he's kind of got a bit of a death wish, and so they've assigned this guy to be his partner. Love it already. Now, I think they just create these things for Fujo to ship, even if they're not meant to. We're meant to. I'd like to know. Do you guys think that too? I kind of generally think that a lot of these stories are written fully with the idea that there will be Fujo sitting there going, yep, yeah, we see this. This is what we see. So yeah, he's saying, coming over to my place tonight. I'm like, yep, this just checks. Checks with how my mind's going with this story. There is a little bit of a suicide trigger warning at the start of this, which I think is correct to have in, because Nanao he's got, he does have a mental issue. They've got a special name for it, Morbius C, they call it, and it's when someone is not necessarily actively trying to take their own life, but they have very little regard for their own life and therefore put themselves in danger. And that's why he's so good at being a guard. So when a unit goes into an area to try and clear out the shoujo, and they get into trouble, they'll send in one of the special guards, and he wears black, even though white is something that they generally wear to try and blend in and not be seen. Black is so obvious that the shoujo will be attracted to him and he will be able to fight more of them, but also he's more likely to get killed that way, which is another reason why he wears black. Also, he doesn't have a gun, he has a katana, a big sword, and so he fights that way. So he's got a really high kill count compared to all the rest, which is why the big Hyhegians don't want him to die, which is why they've assigned Chris, because Chris is there basically to be his glorified keeper. We'll see how this goes. I'm enjoying it so far. It's interesting, super weird, but also, you know, like sci-fi in the future, dystopian. It's interesting so far. Can't say the art style's to my taste. It feels a bit, also with the lettering, feels a little lazy, but also kind of in keeping with the art style. So I can't fault it really. So yeah, I've got about half to go. So I'll let you know what I think. Before I go though, I do think I need to show you. So this is the page I'm showing you, the very next page. He's like, come on over to my room tonight. I'll give you a unique experience. Literally just handing the Fujo this kind of stuff. Bait. Here you go. Bait. Like they obviously want us to think these things. So yeah. Anyway, I'll keep reading. Boo! They've introduced a girl. You know what that means. I'm going to be disappointed. But they've also introduced another guy who is a bit of a badass and has a traumatic past and has long hair. So that's fun. Always interesting. this is good so far, but it's a bit weird. So I just finished reading this first volume of Blackguard by Ryo Hanada. The artwork on the front is quite nice. I don't know if you can really see it. It's quite yellowed in that image, but it's nice and pale in real life. Anyway, so I think the author has written some other work. Let's see, here it is. Because the poster on the wall says Devil's Line, which I think is some sort of vampire-esque manga that's quite popular. I've not read it, so I don't know. So this maybe looks very familiar to people who've read Devil's Line, but I know Devil's Line is a manga, and so probably with the same mangaka. So yeah, anyway, it's an interesting story so far. It was a little bit disturbing that when it comes to the story, like behind how this came to be. So yeah, this is what happened. There was a space probe. They brought back samples. It contained a virus, and the virus created these shoujo that they end up having to try and kill. Anyway, it's interesting so far. I don't want to talk too much about the plot, but there seems to be more going on with these two, and then this new guy as well, who has some sort of backstory and seems to have a lack of empathy. There was a wee funny bit at the end where he goes shopping and he's like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Well, it's a bit much," but then they both end up wearing it. I just thought that was funny. So there is some comedy elements. The bit that I liked the most was the ancients had a word for this. Twinsies. Oshare? Osoroi, that's the word. Osoroi. That's like twinsies. It's funny how the Japanese word just comes to you. So yeah, this is an interesting one. Like I said, the art style's not really to my taste, but I really like the comedy panels the most. And yeah, the choice of this font is a little bit like meh, but maybe it sits well with the sort of sci-fi dystopian future vibes that this has got going on. I do think that the artwork on the front is slightly misleading for what the artwork inside is like. But it left it on a good kind of cliffhanger for volume 1, so volume 2 will be interesting as well. So yeah, if you like dystopian sci-fi stories, then Blackguard is probably something you will enjoy. There's a little bit of mystery enough already that you're intrigued by the characters, and it seems to be that it's increasing around him, this Minami character. He has this morbus C mental illness where he doesn't necessarily actively want to kill himself, but he wants to die, which is something different. So yeah, it's interesting so far. The shoujo I thought was kind of it's apparently an actual kind of name for a mythical beast in Japan, but it's not shoujo as in the manga, just in case. Anyway, I have one more title to read, and I need to find it because these are all the PDF codes, but I can't remember which one it is. Definitely not these three. Is it this one? There we go. Taproot, a story about a gardener and a ghost, and this is by Kizzy Young. So yeah, I don't know much about it. What's it? Oni Press publication. So yeah, I'll give this a wee go and see. June 2022 it's coming out. And that's all the details about it. So yeah, I'll give this one a wee read, And then that'll be me, because that's everything done. I'll have to write up my reviews on all of these. But I know which one's my favourite. Oh, and I'll have to do a photo for the thumbnail too. And I'm supposed to go shopping as well. Maybe I should go shopping now before it rains. It's going to rain soon, I think. I can see the seagulls outside sitting down on the roofs. That means rain is a-coming. So yeah, I don't know how long this is though. Not too long, hopefully. Anyway, we'll see. So this is the final thing that I've read. Taproot, a story about a gardener and a ghost by Keezy Young, which is actually like a new version of something that was published, what did they say, in 2015. And I was reading it and thinking, oh, this is dead cute and sweet and interesting. And there was a point in time when I was like, alright, okay. Here it is. When he says, go spend time with someone who can appreciate those arms in a corporeal way. And I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. Is this gay? And I'd forgotten that, yes, this is an LGBTQIA+ work on the NetGalley site. That's why I clicked on it, like, oh, a graphic novel that's got maybe some LGBT themes. Great! I'll have a wee read of that. And then, of course, I started shipping the two of them. And there was a moment in this that literally just broke me. I was like, oh god, no! Like, in only a few pages it managed to wreck me emotionally. And then 2 seconds later I was fine. But it was that moment of like, oh! This was really sweet and really cute, and I liked it. It made me think that it's just a simple story with simple characters and just simple things going on. But I liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was a sweet one. So yeah, one that's been around for a wee while, but this is a new edition, a new version that's going to be released or is released now. But yeah, very beautiful, very colourful, nice, and another graphic novel to add to all the ones I've been reading this year, especially ones that have gay romance themes, which I'm like here for, obviously. One that I was really pleasantly surprised about. So I'm kind of feeling a wee bit hungry now. I got a bit waylaid, so I was going to read this and then I ended up doing some more business stuff, documents and things. And then I've come up here and just had another wee read. It's not rained yet, I don't think, but I think it's going to, and I kind of feel like I need to go to the shops and get some food, but probably not do the big shopping that I was going to do, so I might just take a little walk to the local co-op and get some food, just for something good to eat, because I can't just eat cake, can I? Can I? No, you're right, I can't. I need real proper sustenance. And maybe some salad. I need something that has vitamins in it. I think I need to make a thumbnail, and I remember I'll probably just use the same kind of layout because it is mostly a Kodansha. I think I will use When a Cat Faces West as the main one because it was awesome. But there was a lot of good ones this time, but that one I think is probably my favourite, so I'll make up a little thing for the thumbnail. There, I think that's a nice picture. I've got some good ones. I really enjoy using my phone because the camera in it is really good quality and I can do things that I didn't think I could ever do. And I especially like the blur. So like if you want to like zoom in on food and everything else around it is all blurry, it's just really good effect. So I like that one. So I got back from the shops. I've got something delicious, got pie and chips and some salad. I thought I would just do a quick rundown and wrap up of everything that I read for this kind of reading vlog. It's been more than 24 hours, but like a day and a half maybe. So all the things that I read. The best one I think is definitely When a Cat Faces West. This is one that I wasn't even that much aware of. It's as soon as I saw Yuki Urushibara, I was like, that seems familiar, and the art style seemed familiar, and then of course it did click that it was the same mangaka as Mushishi, and it was like, oh, and then it was just fabulous. So for me, this is definitely my my top favourite of everything that I read, and I would love it if there was more, and maybe even in physical, I don't know, but I'll have to look out, see if there's physical copies, because I would probably pick them up. It's that good. It's my jam. It's my jam. And then I also read Taproot, which is the graphic novel by Kizzy Young. Their graphic novel that they published before, but it's being re-released in a different version. And this actually got me. I was very emotional. I cried. But it was also really sweet. It was really short and fast, so it's a quite quick and easy read. Really love the characters, and really interesting art style as well. A very good one as well from this vlog. Very happy about these two choices. What else did I read? Blackguard by Ryo Hanada, which is not one that I would normally gravitate towards because I haven't read their other work, Devil's Line, but it is a vampire story, so it's probably good. If you've read it, let me know. Is it worth looking out for? Is it worth looking to see if I can get copies of and giving it a try? Maybe look through my library to see if I can get it. Blackguard, though, was very interesting. It was different. It was like the dystopian Tokyo setting, which is always enjoyable, but also there was a bit of mystery there as to the characters, and obviously a trigger warning there for suicide and thoughts of suicide, but an interesting one nonetheless. The cover art, I think, is really beautiful. The art inside is not necessarily to my taste, but I like it. I like the chibis. I like the chibis in the comedy. So I also read Penguin and House, which is like the complete opposite of Blackguard. This is by Akiho Ieda. I think the second volume is maybe already out. This is just a slice of life, weird one with a penguin that just does things for his owner. It's kind of like he keeps him as a pet, but he's also like, the penguin's like his mum and just cooks and cleans and looks after him. And yet they both have, you know, quite high skill set. The owner has no name, and Penguin just is known as Pen. So it's all of the other characters and things that, and the nonsense that they get up to. Mainly just Penguin folding all of his laundry and then him sitting on it with complete disregard. Which, you know, if you've ever done that, you're like, no! So yeah, I liked Penguin. Penguin was the best character in that. That was also quite an enjoyable, fun little one. I'm not sure who I'd recommend it to, just people who like slice of life stuff. This one, A Galaxy Next Door, Guido Amagakure. I really have difficulty with vowels sometimes. I think this manga has other works. Is it Sweetening and Light? Something like that. Which I've not read because it's a shoujo manga and I don't read a huge amount of shoujo manga. This one's interesting though because it has that sort of sci-fi element, that weird, she's a princess but she's also got like a stinger, and yeah, it's interesting because it's mainly just about manga and falling in love and people just getting to know each other. It's just, which is a cute, sweet shoujo romance, but it's got the sci-fi element added in. It's very funny, very pretty. I enjoyed it. It was interesting and unique. Okay. And I think this is the last one. Windbreaker, Satoru Ni. This one is one that I wouldn't normally pick up. About someone who wants to be the strongest. But it's that whole like shonen, I want to be the strongest, you know, school, gakuran, Yankee kind of setting, which seems kind of just normal standard shonen, but this is done quite well, and I really felt for the main character, Haruka, Sakura, and all the different characters that were introduced. They're all very interesting and different, and it just has a nice feel to it. The comedy aspect as well is very enjoyable. So yeah, overall, this is a great little selection. I'm really pleased. I'm gonna have to write up all my reviews on them all, but I definitely think that the Mushishi set in the modern times with flow was something that I especially enjoyed. This is one that I think I would highly recommend to anyone who is a fan of Mushishi, or who's a fan of, like I said, The Night Beyond the Tri-Corner Window or Natsume Yujincho. That kind of feel to it. It's got that sort of slice of life, episodic, it's normal life but with one element just changed, with a sort of supernatural folklore-y bent to it. And you know I'm going to be shipping those too. Yes! Why? Because I am. There was a lot of visual bait, to be fair, there was a lot of visual bait in a lot of these works. Maybe I'm just in a Fujo bait kind of a mood, but yeah, 100% recommend When a Cat Faces West. It was a really, really good one. And G, if you're watching, this is the one. This is obviously the one. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you've found any of these really interesting or you're thinking about picking these up, let me know in the comments down below. I'm 365801 and I make videos about male romance, BL manga, yaoi, and sometimes all about this good stuff. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!